Welcome to Fear No Evil, where the evil I speak about is child sexual abuse, where Psalms 23 is the dominant scripture, and where the Lord is my shepherd at all times. I first want to speak about Oprah Winfrey and her run for the presidential election possibly in 2020. However, that is not my focus. Apparently, it is known that Miss Winfrey is also a childhood sexual abuse survivor. And I realize how she has tried to bring in her trauma to the workplace harassment situation. However, I used to be a big fan of Oprah Winfrey until she had an interview with some young women who had been held captive by someone in a dungeon underneath their house. He basically had this basement. I can't remember his name, but he basically had this basement and he had kept a couple, I think there was about 3 women. A couple of them were young girls that he had kidnapped. One had stayed with him for approximately 7 years. But the thing that turned me off from Miss Oprah Winfrey was during that interview where she chastised the women because they didn't go say something. And then more women were abused because of it. How is that a reversal for Miss Winfrey? In fact, I shot off an email to her company that was never replied. And I asked her, as a child sexual abuse survivor, how dare you chastise these women who had been kidnapped as teenagers, held captive, raped, and molested every day? But because they were unable to say something, other women were abused. However, she wants to stand on this pedestal now and act as if she cares, taking the opposite position of the position she took years ago. And that's why I never listened to Oprah Winfrey after that. Because to me, she was an unhealed sexual abuse survivor, blaming the victims because they could not come forward and say something who were children. But now she wants to put women who were not children, who were sexually violated, as courageous and heroes because they want to wear black and speak out. But she didn't have the same empathy and compassion for the women that were on her interview, were on a show, the Oprah Winfrey Show. And in fact, that interview incensed me so much that I would never pick up another Oprah Winfrey magazine. I would never listen to her show again. And I certainly didn't count her as a healed Christian. I found her bitter. I found her blaming the victims implorable. And I find it amazing how people forget this interview, how they have forgotten these women. And as much as Oprah Winfrey wants to give everybody a car, middle-aged, upper-class women sitting in her audience wanting to give them a car, when she was done interviewing these women, she did not offer them a thing. She didn't offer them counseling. She didn't offer anything to restore what was taken back from them. I ask people to forgive me if I sound angry. I am not angry, but I am very passionate when it comes to the subject of child sexual abuse, because the damage that is done and the hypocrisy in our society, especially in Hollywood right now, needs to be spoken out, it needs to be exposed, and it needs to be brought forward. So I hope that someone somewhere will dig that interview out and re-show it and show how nasty she really was to these victims of child sexual abuse. Because it doesn't make any sense to me, and it certainly doesn't meld in my spirit how she can be so nasty to these women, but at the same time, she wants to act like the hero of women. Either people didn't see this interview, or they don't understand child sexual abuse, or they don't understand exactly what went on in that interview. Miss Winfrey, I know people don't speak out against you. I know that no one's supposed to say anything against Oprah Winfrey. But you know what? Child sexual abuse survivors and what they go through, is so much more important than Miss Oprah Winfrey. And unless she can go back and retract that interview and maybe apologize to those women that were on her show, all she's doing right now is putting on a show. And you know what? You've all bought tickets for it. Good luck with it.